Alright guys, today we are going to talk about slope-intercept form, and we're going to take notes on slope and the y-intercept. Alright, and to review, slope is the rate of change or the rise over run. Okay, and the y-intercept is the point where the line crosses the y-axis. So we are going to look at what slope-intercept form is, and it's a formula for the equation of a line using the slope and the y-intercept, which is why you need to know what those two things are. So if you look over here, slope-intercept form is just a formula for the equation of a line using its slope and its y-intercept. So we are going to use the slope and the y-intercept to create an equation. In slope-intercept form, again, is a formula, and it is this formula down here, y equals mx plus b. We discovered that in our class activity, and each one represents something different. So we've already talked about that m in the last Doodle Notes video is slope. And remember that slope is rise over run. But the letter M represents slope. And our B is your y-intercept. X and Y are just variables, so they change depending on what values you have for either one. So they are just variables. Alright, so we are going to go over the steps for graphing. It's not something you will be doing quite yet today, but you will need to do it later this week. So the first step is to place a point at the y-intercept. The second step is to use that point to count the slope to find the next point. You do need to be careful about positive and negative directions and make sure that you're creating the right type of slope or right type of line. From there, you are going to, step number 3 is to connect the 2 points, and actually I would say you would want 3 points because you'll have a nice and neater line with the more points that you create. So we are going to try graphing the line y equals negative 3x plus 2. And to start, you are going to find your y-intercept, which we've learned that the 2, what we're adding, the constant, is your y-intercept. So we're going to place a point at 2. And then the second step is to use the slope. So we are going to use the slope, which is negative 3, and add some more points. So since it's negative, I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, and I need to go to the right to create a negative line. And I'm going to actually add a third point. So down 1, 2, 3, over 1 to the right, and then I'll draw my line to connect my points. And remember that negative 3 is really just 3 over 1. Okay, so we are going to practice writing the equation for each line in slope-intercept form. Again, we're just going to practice finding the y-intercept and the slope. So our y-intercept is right here at negative 1. So I know that my equation is going to be subtracting 1. Next, I need to find my slope, which I can go from this point. So we're going down 2, and we're running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I make my slope, it will be rise over run, so negative 2/6, which is equal to negative 1/3. And I need to put it into the formula, which is y equals mx plus b. And remember, my m is my slope, so negative 1/3, and x is my variable, so y equals negative 1/3 x minus 1. Alright, so the next one is We're going to look for our y-intercept again, where it is right here. It crosses the y-axis. See how it says y? And that's -2, so our y-intercept, I'm going to subtract 2. And our formula is y equals mx plus b. So we're actually just subtracting because it's a negative intercept. Okay, so now I need to find my slope. And I'm going to draw my slope triangle, and it's vertical over horizontal. So now I'm going to count my vertical side, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. So my slope is my rise 5 over 1, and it simplifies to just 5. So my equation is y equals 5x minus 2. I do want to talk about these special cases off to the side. If you have y equals 2x, there is no y-intercept, so it crosses at 0. No y-intercept. And so there really is an imaginary 0 there, and that's why it crosses at 0, 0. And then if we have y equals 4, that has no slope. Remember, that's just a horizontal line. So it's no slope, horizontal line, or 0 slope. Horizontal line. This is something that you will see next year. We're not going to focus on it this year, and this is not in slope-intercept form down here. You will actually have to put it into slope-intercept form, and there's also some other ways that you could find your slope and y-intercept from there, but we're not going to focus on that this year. All right, one more example. If we look at this equation right here, we have y equals -x plus 4. Well, right here is our y-intercept. So we're going to place it on the y-axis at +4, which is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And from there, we're going to use our slope, which, as you can see, it just says -x. There's an imaginary 1 here. So it's really -1, which means we're going to go down 1 and to the right 1 because you want a negative line. So down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1, and connect your dots. And here we have a negative slope and a -1.